What's up guys, my name's Brandon and here is the 2020 iPad Pro. So in this video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing it and also comparing it to the 2018 iPad Pro, which has probably been my favorite Apple product over the past 2 years. So I got the 12.9 inch 128 gigabyte model in the space gray colorway. I do also have an 11 inch model on the way so that I can compare the sizes and see which one I like better. I'll probably be making a video on that as well. But anyways, you can see here we do have the typical pull tab. We don't need scissors or a knife or anything like that. Just opens right up just like so. And just go ahead and lift the top off just like every other Apple product. And you can see we have a little black piece of paper and the iPad right underneath of that. If we take that on out, also inside of the box, we have our Design by Apple in California pamphlet here. Let's see what color Apple stickers we get. So just the traditional white Apple stickers, even if you do get the space gray model. Also inside of here, we do have our USB-C adapter and our USB-C to USB-C cord to charge. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and set everything off to the side and then unwrap this iPad Pro here. So I will be taking off the plastic because I didn't do this in my MacBook Air video and a lot of people got mad at me for not showing the packaging coming off, the plastic coming off. So here you guys go. And here is the iPad Pro in all its glory. Of course, it is very similar to the 2018 model, so not really anything changed on the body except for on the back here. Of course, we do have the new camera system setup, which I will talk about here in a moment. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and boot this up and go through the setup process and also talk about the specs and everything along the way. So the price of the 2020 iPad Pro is the same as the 2018. So it starts at $799 for the 11 inch and $999 for the 12.9 inch model. But the storage sizes have doubled this year. So luckily we no longer have a 64 gigabyte base model, which is just crazy for a Pro product to begin with. So it starts at 128 gigabytes now. So that's really nice to have the same price for double the storage. So let's go ahead and set up this iPad Pro and see if anything has changed from the 2018 model. We are on iPadOS 13 now, which we did not have, of course, in the 2018 model. So there may be some differences here. So we're just gonna go ahead and set up manually. And we're gonna go through the activation process, which should be very simple since I don't have a cellular model. You can get this in Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi plus cellular, just like you could in 2018 as well. We have our typical data and privacy screen right here. Face ID, you can go ahead and set up Face ID. Let's go ahead and do this and see if anything has changed here. So we do have to rotate to portrait to be able to do this. And it always feels so weird doing this on the iPad because of how big the screen is, but we're gonna go ahead and set it up. You can see the circle is not huge. It's very small, just like with the iPhone. Try to make sure you don't have things in the background when you're doing that as well. It kept picking up the light and not my face. So we have that set up, and then you get the option to restore from a backup if you want to. I'm actually gonna restore from my 2018 iPad Pro iCloud backup right here. But of course you could also do this later on. You don't have to do this on the setup screen. You can also do it once you're already into the iPad. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this and sign in. All right, so once you sign in, you do see all of your backups right here. And I do have my iPad Pro 2018 backed up right here. You can see yesterday I did an iCloud backup, so we're just gonna go ahead and select that. And then you can see we have our settings for the backup. You can customize these settings if you want to, but I wanna keep them the same, so we're gonna continue. Then we're going to install updates manually. I like that personally better than automatic updates. And then we have Apple Pay. You can set that up now or set that up later. I'm just gonna set that up later. Same with Siri, we could just go ahead and set that up later. App Analytics, you could share this with app developers if you want to help improve applications if they crash and things like that. And now we are restoring from the iCloud backup. This could take a long time, but it will depend on how much data you're transferring over as well as your internet speed. So mine should not take too long, I wouldn't imagine, but we will see. And one thing I also want to point out is that the 2020 iPad Pro actually comes with 100% battery life. I don't think I've seen that ever on any Apple product before, especially not an iPad. So that's actually crazy because I will not have to charge this iPad Pro for a couple of days at least now, since it is fully charged up. So just something minor that I noticed. All right, so now we are on the final stage of the iCloud restore right here. It only took about 3 to 4 minutes for quite a bit of data, a lot of applications. So again, should not take very long here. Now we will go ahead and unlock and we should be on our way. And that's all there is to it. We are now on the home screen. You can see the home screens and the background, the wallpaper, everything is exactly the same as the iCloud restore, which was from my 2018 iPad Pro. So now we can go ahead and compare these two and kind of just give you guys my overall first impressions review of the 2020 iPad Pro. And looking around the body, you're really not going to notice much that's changed from the 2018 model. And that's because really the only thing on the outside that's changed is the camera setup. So we now have a dual camera setup compared to a single firing camera on the 2018 iPad Pro. So we have a 12 megapixel primary lens and a 10 megapixel ultra wide. angle lens. And then to the right of that, some people think that that looks like another lens, but that's actually the new LiDAR scanner, which is going to help greatly with augmented reality. And I will be talking about that more in my first things to do on the iPad Pro 2020 video, which will be linked in the cards above. And with this camera, you can shoot video up to 4K 60 FPS, but unfortunately there is no portrait mode. Even with the LiDAR scanner, for some reason, you can still not shoot portrait mode photos on the 2020 iPad Pro, which is a little bit disappointing. But the front-facing camera is actually great. So it's a 1080p camera and it is not bad. I mean, it's actually much better than the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro because those, for some reason, still have the 720p FaceTime camera. So your FaceTime calls are going to look better on the iPad than they would if you were using a more expensive MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air. Now, as for the audio department, we do have the same 4-speaker setup as we did in the 2018 model. So audio should sound amazing when you watch your Netflix shows, your YouTube, your movies, whatever you want to watch. It should sound great coming from the built-in speakers. But what's not the same is the microphone quality. So the microphone quality has actually improved this year thanks to there being 5 studio quality mics inside of the 2020 iPad Pro. So if you record podcasts or just record your voice and voice memos, the audio should sound better this year compared to 2018. Now, as for the display, we have the same Liquid Retina LCD display with 120 Hz ProMotion and also True Tone. I've also used my 2018 outdoors plenty of time, and that 600 nits of brightness really comes in handy in those situations. And of course, nothing has changed with the 2020, so we still have that super bright display. Now, aside from the camera setup, the other big area where the 2020 iPad Pro differs from the 2018 iPad Pro is the CPU and GPU. So inside, we have the A12Z Bionic chip, and I will be testing this out against my 2018 iPad Pro, which has the A12X Bionic chip. So the A12Z should be a little bit faster, but it's not likely going to be a big difference in terms of overall speed because, as you guys know, the 2018 is still blazing fast here in 2020. Now, one of the first things I tried out to see if this 2020 iPad Pro is faster than the 2018 with that A12Z chip was Face ID, because sometimes Face ID and these biometrics will improve in terms of speed and accuracy based on the chip inside. But it seems to be that the Face ID speed and accuracy is the same as the 2018 model. But as far as the graphics performance goes, this should be noticeably better and more efficient since we have an 8-core GPU compared to a 7-core GPU in the 2018 model. So as if gaming and video editing could really get any smoother and any better, they now should be on the 2020 iPad Pro. Now, battery life is expected to be the same. Of course, we did come with 100% battery life. I don't think the 2018 did that. Just a small thing, but battery life in general should be about the same. Apple never said there was a difference in batteries, but I will be testing this out myself and report back to you guys in a future video to see if this 2020 iPad Pro gets better battery life than the 2018, because once again, that A12Z Bionic chip will probably have more improvements than we know about right now. Now, for those of you with a 2018 iPad Pro right now, wondering if you should upgrade to the 2020 model, I would say to hold off, at least for now. At least wait until my 1 week later comparison video between the 2018 and the 2020 iPad Pros, because it's easy to just say, no, don't get the new iPad Pro because not much is different and your 2018 is probably still blazing fast. But I want to do some real world testing myself before I give you guys a concrete answer. So if you're wanting to see that video, it will be linked up in the cards in the description about 1 week from the time this video is being published. So if you are watching this later, it's probably linked up there right now. If not, if you are a subscriber to the channel and watch all my videos right when they come out, expect that video in about a week from now. And the reason I say that is because, like I mentioned earlier, anytime you have a new chipset in a device, it comes with added benefits that maybe are not known at first or not advertised. Like I checked for the Face ID speed. Sometimes Face ID speed could be improved because of the chipset and that may not be advertised. Just small little things like that I will be testing for to see if there's really more of a difference than we originally thought between these two models. But of course, based on my first impressions, you should not be upgrading from a 2018 iPad Pro to the 2020 iPad Pro unless you just have money to blow. But like I said, I'm not going to give you guys a concrete answer, but on the surface, of course, it seems like you should not upgrade. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I will be getting the 11-inch model as well, because I did have the 12.9 in 2018. I never even tested out the 11-inch. So I'm going to test out the 11-inch here. I should have that by this weekend, so I will probably have a video comparing the 12.9 to the 11-inch to see which one maybe you should get. Maybe you're in the same scenario as me, you don't know which one you're going to like better, so maybe I can shed some light on that. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in a comment below. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the 2020 iPad Pro. I'm excited to use this thing. I will be making tons of content on it. I will be comparing it to the 2020 MacBook Air, since this one right here is the same price. This is the 12.9-inch 128 gigabyte model. Both are $999, so it will be interesting to compare those two and see if this can fully replace a laptop, if you should get this over a laptop, and why. I'm just going to cover a lot of different scenarios in that video, so stay tuned for that, and of course lots of other videos on this iPad Pro. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are looking forward to future videos. If you did, or if you just enjoy the sound of my voice, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe so you don't miss any of those future videos. And also make sure you guys hit that notification bell if you have not done so already. That's made a big difference in the performance of my videos, and I really appreciate those of you in the notification squad. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.